Hi, it's Sandy Parker. Welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. I have a project that I thought we'd work on today, and it's one that involves caulking, and it's something I saw the Frugal Crafter doing, and I'm using acrylic latex caulk, not silicone caulk. The molds I'm using are cake molds. I saw a woman, I think her name was like 47CNC maybe, and she used these silicone molds, and Lindsay is the one that showed me how to color it. So it's kind of a combination of different people's tutorials, and what we're going to do is we're going to make our own embellishments out of caulk. It's like texture. You know how I love stencils and using texture paste for that. Well, this is a very inexpensive way to do it. I bought two containers of that caulk at my local hardware store. It was buy one get one free for $1.99, so that was a good deal. What I did, now this is for people like me, because I clearly was not going to be able to use that little pump thing that pushes it up from the bottom. You know the thing I'm talking about? It's like it looks like a little gun. Anyway, I knew I wouldn't be able to do that, so I asked Rich if he would do it, and he put it into this Ziploc bag for me, and I'm going to zip that closed, and then I'm going to put it into this turkey breast container, and hopefully I'll be able to keep it. I knew if I just let it be open that it would just get ruined, so I figured that this would be the best way to preserve it, if it's possible to preserve. I don't even know if it is, but I knew I would not be able to squeeze that out once I used it. Well, even the first time I wasn't able to do it by myself. So with that in mind, I figured we would play with it a little bit. I already filled a couple of these molds. I'm not even sure if I'm doing it right, because I kept having okay, I'll tell you the pitfalls that I found so far and the things that have worked. When I put the caulk into the molds, what seems to happen is it seems to not easily fill the hole, so you have to push down on it more at the beginning. Like you put a big gob on it. Well, I'll show you that as we do it, but you have to put a big gob on it because it seemed like I was getting holes in my project, so like air bubble holes, and I think it was because my caulk just wasn't filling all the surfaces that need to be filled. What Lindsay used was, she just used craft paint, so I'm going to use some of this aqua craft paint for my first batch. So we're going to put a few drops, ooh, or a big bunch. Oh jeez. So we have this aqua color. I want to make sure these are in frame, and I have a puppy under my feet. At the end of the video I will show you a picture of how my little baby is progressing. She's getting big, big, big. Well, not really huge, but she's bigger. Oh, the other thing I have under here is I have some craft paper that's just that kind you get on a roll. And I also have the Dollar Tree has two of these big cutting sheets. They're like maybe, I'd say they're almost 18 inches, maybe 14 inches by 18 inches, or maybe even bigger than that. But they really are nice because I'm not going to cut on them, but they work great for projects like this. So I'm going to use this other tool instead of my, normally when I'm using texture paste, this works great, but for some reason, I don't know if it was too pointy, but it seemed to just gouge into these. So we're going to go with the one that looks more like a butter knife. And I want to tell you where I got these. I got them at Amazon.com, and they weren't very expensive. I think they were like, I don't know, $6 for the most expensive one. Do you see right in there and there and here and over here? Can you see those little holes in the pattern? So obviously I did not press hard enough when I was trying to get it in there to begin with, because if I had, I don't think those little holes would be there. That's why we're practicing together, to see exactly what we need to do to make this work right. And as this sits a little bit, I can see other ones doing the same thing, where you can just see a little hole opening up in it. So I'm going to go around it again. Okay, we're back. I promised that I would do a stencil with a regular stencil and this texture paste, and I'm not sure how this one's going to work because it has these little sections in the middle that are raised. Could be scary, but I did want to show you something else that I had made. I'm going to have to put something behind it. It didn't occur to me till just then that you won't be able to see it otherwise. You know how I like to make my own stencils. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably you can't. It's a keyhole, or a large keyhole, and then I made a smaller one. So I made a small one and I made a great big one. I thought those would be really cool, and I thought what I'd do is I'd put something behind it so it looks like you're looking outside, or something inside the house. You know what I mean? Like maybe it could be an animal outside, or maybe inside it'd be furniture. But we're going to do a project with that at some point. I just thought I'd show you those because I thought they were fun, and I made them myself out of just some packaging materials. So what we're going to do first with this is we're going to change the color of our caulking to a darker green. I wasn't exactly sure how much of this I would need, but I didn't care because I figured if I made a lot of it, I could move the stencil, hopefully, on the same page and put a bit more in there, and make it, make a second stencil. And I was going to tell you, on the first batch of this stuff that I used re-inker on some of it, and I just want to try it. I don't remember anybody saying they used re-inker, but maybe they did. I just figured I would give it a shot. Some of this down, and I'm going to be a lot gentler with this than I would be with normal texture paste, because I don't want it to go underneath if I can possibly avoid it. With my stencils, I showed you my stencil storage. I keep it in a expandex folder, and I label it by category, like this is in with trees and flowers. And then I have geometrics and holidays, letters, numbers, things like that. Okay, cross your fingers. Oh, and I just used some paint tape. The blue tape is paint tape, and I ran it over my shirt a couple times to get any extra adhesive off so that I wouldn't ruin my cardstock, and that's what I did. And I use a lot of tape when I do stencils just because it's easier. It's like an extra hand for me. That's funny. I don't think I even glued that one down. Okay, I'm not even going to worry about this last one. I'm just going to pick it up, hopefully. Hopefully, I'm just going to pick it up. Try to do it. Oh, wow. Look how cool. Okay, the one that I wasn't worried about smeared, but the one that I was worried about is perfect. Look how cool those are. That is some awesome stuff. When we come back, we'll see how it looks once it's dried. And our fern came out really lovely. And I meant to tell you the name of this. It's from Crafter's Workshop, and it's called Mini Ferns. And it is a 6x6, so it's a pretty decent size fern, even though it says mini. Anyway, that's how it came out. Lovely. I just think it's terrific. I couldn't have asked for the caulk to do a better job. I dropped something on it right here, and it discolored it a little bit, but I think I'll just put the sentiment there or something on that section. So that did a great job. Now let's talk about our other ones. I've had some fails along the way, so I figured what I would do is discuss that and also discuss the difference. This particular mold is a very deep, intricate mold, and I've tried it twice, but I think I'm too heavy-handed, and I think I'm going to have my friend Linda play with this one instead, because I'm not really, I just think it's not something that I can do. So that one was a fail twice. It ripped apart completely. The next thing that I found when I was doing this is that it's really difficult to get everything off of the mold. I mean, all of the excess caulk. So what I read, no, I saw on her number, her YouTube name is 47CMC. I asked her if it would be okay if I passed along this information, and I haven't heard back from her, but she did say in her videos that she's happy that other people are trying her techniques. And she got them from somebody from Australia, no, New Zealand. Anyway, so here is the problem that I have, and I think people that have any kind of limitations might have more than the normal person, even though we are normal. But I'm just saying this is a problem. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult for us than others. Anyway, when you have that excess on there, she calls it haze. I'm just going to call it excess. You take a baby wipe and you put rubbing alcohol on it, and then you go around your item after it's sat for 24 hours. 24 hours is important. I tried 12 hours, and believe me, 12 hours is no good. You need to go the full 24 hours. And what this does is it kind of eats the excess off of the paper, and I'm going to go kind of carefully. I am rubbing, not too gently, but I'm trying to make sure that there are spots like around these antennas I'm a little bit nervous about, that I might ruin the antennas. And then let's go around these. And what you're trying to do is anywhere that there should be a hole in your doily or your design, you want to make sure that that hole shows up. And so this alcohol is eating away at that, which I'm loving, because I tried after I took it out, and let me just tell you, that was impossible. I'm just saying, impossible. Impossible in the word, never ever gonna happen. I was gonna be throwing that out. So I'm gonna jump to my long one so I can show you that one. Here's what one looks like when I did do it with the alcohol. It does look really good. If you don't, and I pulled this one out, so it might ruin before I can clean it up, but I pulled it out and thought, oh, I'll just use my craft pick on it. My pokey tool will take care of that. Yeah, 10 minutes later, okay, see, now because I took it out, it's kind of breaking it up, but I'll stick it back in and see if I can do it one more time. I don't have a problem with throwing these out because see how it just ate it. Okay, so that's garbage. You really need to clean these with a toothbrush and mild soap and water, and that'll take care of that problem. Let's go back to this one very quickly and see if I can get this last one. I hope you can see what it's doing. It just eats up anything that's above. Okay, see this right here? We don't want that. That is going to not look good in the finished product. So we're rubbing away anything that is outside of the mold, so to speak. And hopefully, that one looks pretty good. That one looks good. This one a little iffy. Okay. So let's see if we can get any of these out. They should come out really easily because they, again, sat overnight. It's not like I shortcutted like I did on another one. This one is very delicate around the bottom, and I have a little break in it. I'm not sure if it'll be a problem later on, but I'm sure I could put it on under something on a card. I did use, on these ones, to color them, I used gold mica, and it didn't really make it look glittery like I thought it would. It just kind of made it gold looking. And then what I did to play with some of them is I took my metallic rub-on, and there's mica on this as well. There's mica on everything right now because I need to throw out this paper that I'm working on. But anyway, after the fact, let's say that after the fact you want to make this. This is what I did with this one, if you can see that one. Let's just take this bronzy color. I tried to make this one a brown, and it didn't work well. And so I figured if you want to, you could just change up whatever it looks like, change it to a different color, or hide it with something. You ought to be able to, you know, make it look the way you want to. Oh, I did do this side. This is the side I made that metallic color already. What was I thinking about that? I forgot already that I did that. These ones are still kind of damp. I don't really want to do anything with them. And this pink one that I did over here, let's see. Let's take this rose design, and I want to try and take some of this. It's like a pearlescence. Now that my hands have baby wipe on them, it doesn't look like they want to play. Let's see if I can just add a little bit of that pearly color to it. It doesn't really do much on that because it's so just so clear, I guess we'll call it. You can't really see it. Let's see if I can try something on this little. Well, that worked good. You want to change the color to pearly pinkish red, you just rub a little on there. Worked great. So that is, oh wait, I have one more I want to show you. This one has been sitting for 2 days, and I need to really do a good job of cleaning it off with the baby wipe because it's got a lot on the top. And I will recommend for you to do as good a job as you can in the early stages with getting the excess caulk off, because it is a lot easier getting it off then than it is after the fact. I mean, it's not like this is really impossible to do, but it does require a little bit of elbow grease. And if you're not having a great day, this is something you're not going to want to do. Believe me, it's not that much fun. And I didn't have good success with my other oh, I did have success with this one. Oh, this is a cute one. I'm going to show you that one. And I put, it was that bright teal color, and it came out really good. And then I put some white mica on it, and it really popped once I put the white mica on it. So I like that very, very much. And then I had, here's one that has a lot of the she called it haze in the inside. Can you see that? If I could put that back in the mold, I might be able to clean that up. And the way that I did these to take them out of the mold is I very carefully start with each one of these outside pieces. And I'll take each one off a little bit. You can see I'm maybe only taking it off maybe by a ½ inch. Okay, I already tore that one. It is pretty delicate, I will tell you that. Now, when the lady that I saw do it, when she did it, she didn't seem to have any problem with taking hers out of the mold. But then again, you know, people don't usually tell you about their fails. And so, I don't know, maybe she did have trouble getting hers out of her molds. She did talk about like a modeling paste that she couldn't get to work, but she didn't talk about having trouble, you know, like taking the ones out of the mold that she'd done with the caulk. Okay, now I'm just pulling it out, just trying to get it out so I can just destroy it. I'll show you what it looks like, how many of these I ruined before I gave up. One more piece. And it's better if you can get it out of the mold like that, because there's still a lot of pieces in there you have to clean, and you want to take it out if you can. Okay, so you can see I even tore the centerpiece of that. So there's nothing in that that's redeemable. I hope that I will be able to, once I practice this and get better at it, I'm hoping that I will get better at pulling them out of the mold as well. But clearly that was not the case with that one. Let me see if I can clean this one off. It's the one that's been out of the mold. It'd be nice if I could. Oh, I tore that one too. No, I'll never get it back in the mold because I did that. Okay, so what we're going to do, oh, that's the one, oh, that's the mold I wanted to tell you about that I ruined, or that I can't do. I've tried this mold a couple times and I have had no luck with it. This is the one I wanted to try putting back. And if you can get it back in the mold, do it, because it's going to help you tremendously if you can do that. And I didn't have any trouble with, you know, these are, it's down into the mold, so it shouldn't, the woman that did this, 47 CMC, she said, don't use a light touch on this, and so I automatically assumed, well, I can just be as rough as I want to be, because, you know, that's my system. And I wish I could have gotten this stuff out when I was putting it in the mold. You know, when I was wiping it off the top, and I saw all that debris in the top, and I wondered how difficult it was going to be to get off. But you know, I didn't have any idea about how else to do that. You know, like once I'd scraped off the top a few times, I thought, well, I run the risk of gouging out the stuff that's actually in the mold, so I didn't really want to do that. The other thing that she did first was use a Mr. Clean magic eraser, and then she even did one of the ones from the Dollar Tree, but she said that it kind of ate that, it ate the Mr. Clean dry eraser. I'm going to let this dry because I don't want to ruin it, but it cleaned up nicely, so I think we're in good shape with that one, so that'll be good. I'll be able to use it. So that's where we stand for now. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm going to make a card with some of this, and I hope you will give this a thumbs up and subscribe, and please let me know what you think about this technique and if you're going to try it. But remember, you have to use acrylic caulk and not silicone. It's really important. This is the kind I use. I use Red Devil Acrylic Latex Caulk. She used a fast drying, I think hers was called DAP. Anyway, this is what I use. So please don't forget that, and let me know how you do. Thanks so much. Bye.